Hello, I'm Jerry Littner, and this is State of the Town, a monthly show when we sit with our first selectman, Lisa Heavner, and get brought up to date on the state of the town. Dum, da-dum, dum.
How are you, Jer?
Hi, Lisa. Now, you were at some big meeting in Hartford, which caused that, well, I was actually the one who ran a little late in taping this, but where you give the governor what's up and tell him, and you talk to that lady on the other side of the aisle who always looks like this on television at night. If she smiled, I truly wonder, would her face crack? You don't know who I mean? Oh, come on. You have to know who So what was the big thing downtown? Or was it just a luncheon to fet you?
No, it was just a regular legal meeting.
A what?
Just a legal meeting.
A legal meeting?
With council, yeah. We do those periodically.
So you're suing the town for getting rid of the first selectman?
No, absolutely not.
No, and after getting paid this measly amount for being Queen of Simsbury, then you turn around and volunteer to run for the Board of Finance. You get paid zip, and everybody knows they're the one who carry the town on their back, and everybody disagrees with them and hates them.
Well, I don't think that's true. I think, each person who volunteers for a different board or commission really is offering their service to the town, and I've always been interested in service to the town, so I hope to continue it, but it's definitely not a done deal. The voters get to decide.
Oh, no, that's right. Yeah. And I mean, you're such a mean person and done such horrible things to us. First selectman, there'll be payback. Well, whether you win or lose, that's payback, I guess.
I suppose.
So, now, let me ask a question.
Okay.
Is this our last show? Or even after the election, will you be kind enough to do one more, even though there will no longer be a real first selectman?
So actually, my term does not end until December.
I know that.
So even after the election, I will still be the first selectwoman for another month.
And then isn't there something in that contract, you have the prerogative like the president does, where you can do all these first select person directives?
No. Not through our charter. Most of our action does require board action, so I cannot do that on my own.
Well, you can, and then people can argue about it. In the meantime, they have to go along with it. Wouldn't that be fun? Think of all the things you've wanted to do that you could just do. Okay. So you're not going to do that because you continue to be a nice person after all of these slings and arrows of outrageous fortune tossed your way. So let's talk about what lies beyond. For example, I don't know, I've done this show for 30 years. Should it still be done? I mean, who's really the boss? There's no, queen anymore. There's a name, a title. But isn't that person just the reporter from what the Board of Selectmen decides, and then they go to the town manager and say, we would like you to do this?
So there will be a different change in responsibilities. And so right now I'm both the CEO and chairman of the board. And going forward, the first select person will be chairman of the board, but not the CEO. The CEO functions will be taken over by the town manager. So the day-to-day running of the town will be shifted to the town manager away from my office.
Yes, but that's a vague term. I mean, run how?
So, I mean, if you have a problem with the streets, you don't call the first selectman. You'll be calling the town manager to get something plowed or a pothole fixed or things
and then
like
the town manager said, well, that really falls to the Board of Selectmen. You should probably show up at a meeting during public audience.
No, I think
this election result was such a huge mistake.
Oh, Jerry,
it's going to be a big runaround in this town. We're losing our community.
It'll work because this community is made up of great people, and they'll make it work. That's what we always do, Jerry, and that's what I expect people to do this time around.
Could we have a little music behind that? Wait a minute, say that again. Something patriotic or
truly, we have a great community, and people step up when there's a need, and they're going to work with the transition and make it successful.
I've seen some people step up when there wasn't a need just to be mean.
That's a sweet song of democracy, Jerry, and most people who do step up, when they see a problem, they offer to help, and that's what makes this
from their
community
perspective. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's helpful, and sometimes...
Well, that's what democracy is. We welcome all, comments and all suggestions, but what I really admire is when people step up. We have so many wonderful volunteers.
I totally agree with
Yeah.
that. I totally agree with that. Although SCTV could always use more,
That's
great
true.
family activity, speak the language of your kids, technology. Oh my goodness, you could put a video up in their room and make sure they behave. You'd learn how to do that. How old are your kids?
My children are 24 and 22.
Oh, they're just babies.
Yeah, they're both in Seattle, so it's a little bit far from me, but they're doing great.
I guess so. Okay, good. Well, let's talk a bit about the state of the town before we meet our new guest, which is a bittersweet note to it. She seems great, but of course we did have someone say goodbye to us who was outstanding. But before that, we have this wonderful thing that our leader puts out. It's monthly, right?
No, twice a month.
Bi-monthly. Is that semi-monthly? Semi-monthly. No, it's bi-monthly.
Twice a month.
Oh, speaking of bi, we have a number of activities coming up. Now, this is one we mentioned way back, and then I don't know if they did a presentation. It's the LGBTQ have been to town, I believe, and did a presentation. Now, this is something that's more joint with senior center, library, a teen group.
Right. So one of the things that our senior center did is, in collaboration with other senior centers, formed a movable LGBTQ plus senior center, because each community in the Farmington Valley did not have enough to do their own.
Right.
But combining it regionally, they're able to share costs and offer programming. And we're trying to, reach out to a community that's been underserved in the past. And I think
Okay.
it's been a great addition, and we're very grateful. Kathy Marshall over at the Senior Center has spearheaded this. And
Oh, okay. Well, I know
and this one
Kathy.
is working with the library, so we're very excited to be able to
Okay,
offer
well,
that
maybe
program.
I will get to this one. The other one
Yeah.
sort of, I think there was something else here in town that kind of came in and went.
That was
Yeah.
the movable, Senior Center for LGBT.
Is that which one?
It's called a movable senior center,
Yeah,
so they
but
do
where
different
was
programming.
the first meeting held?
Oh, I can't remember. They've done it in different towns.
Oh,
They
okay.
rotate the towns.
So I've missed several already,
You
but
may
this
have,
one's
yeah.
going to be in our town.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we were driving by Hot Meadow South, and I guess I'm confused. All of the new apartments that went up on the east side of the road below the ridge, now north of that, but separated by woods, they're clearing all of that. Now, is
So-
that part of the same?
No, so what you see, the houses that recently came up are Aspen Green, and those are originally owned by Greenberg. So those are multi-use apartments, and eventually they'll hope to do commercial and retail, but that has not been scheduled yet. And then the other thing that has been approved is the Silverman project, right? That's replacing the Hartford, and that's a little closer to town, and that's going to
Okay.
begin. So that's
Okay.
what you're seeing.
And
They're
is
two
that
separate
mixed
projects.
use also?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, and then I did go to one of the meetings because I had been interested in it. Down off Iron Horse Boulevard, Gerard's,
Yeah.
what they're proposing. And actually, then I watched it again on tape. I called the station, found out when it was. It seems like they're trying to be quite flexible and listen to a lot of input from the town, the people who are designing it.
So I think they really did listen to a lot of feedback, and as I understand it, the proposal they put forward was very well received.
Yeah, okay. So, but it's not totally approved yet because it's not
No,
in
I
its
don't
final...
think. Yeah, I don't think
final
they're
form.
beginning construction
Okay.
at this point.
Now, just think for a minute. If this is our next to the last show, and we're both going to be very sad next month, is there something that we've not covered in our time together that you would like to talk about separate from whatever?
For next time?
No, for right now.
Well, for next time, I have some suggestions. For you.
Oh.
But right now, I do want to mention the Town Forest Park improvements, because that's an exciting project that's just getting underway. And that's the Ethel Walker entrance off Town Forest. And so they're repaving.
How can you improve a forest?
Well, because there's a park there, too. There's a pavilion. They're going to do improvements there with the parking lot.
Is there a pavilion there?
There is.
Because I thought that neighborhood was, once they got it established, was trying to keep people out.
No, this is Town Forest over by Department of Public Works.
Town Forest.
Yeah,
where you go by the garage.
Tune Hills, right. So
yeah.
the entrance there, they're doing some improvements there, which I think are going to be very exciting and really showcase the Ethel Walker Woods and be a great entrance for people in town to.
I did notice, and actually there's a sign over on the other road now that indicates a hookup that you can get to one from one to the other.
So we're excited that that's starting, and we just got another grant for over $1 million for the bike trail. We applied for that with the town of Bloomfield. It's a federal grant. We'll pass through the state. And that's to expand the greenway from Simsbury to Terriffill and then eventually on into Hartford. It's part of a large connector project. So we're excited to start that project.
So people are going to ride up the hill to Terriffill, right?
Well, so we've got two things. So from Terriffill to Bloomfield, and then we've got the Route 10 route into Curtis Field. So what we don't have is the connection from Terriffill to Curtis Fields, and that'll come in. Connecting the two roads, but that'll be done in the future. Right now, we're doing both legs of it, and we're excited to start that. They'll go into design and permitting right now, and hopefully start in a year.
Okay.
But really great way to partner.
Exciting.
It was regional cooperation with the town of Bloomfield to get this grant, and would like to recognize CROG, who also administers the grant.
And did we discuss last time that FEMA, the grant came through?
We did.
Okay, we did that.
Then that's for the Flower Bridge, $40,000 to help remove the house structure there and begin to rebuild that project. And that should hopefully start in the summer of 2018. So a lot of good stuff happening. Yeah,
well, those of us that volunteer in the Flower Bridge are very excited about that and anxious to do our part and help and, make it attractive, a pleasant place to be. And possibly it can expand our ability to do the educational part of our 501c3 status. If kids want to come and learn about what poison ivy looks like and
you're the man.
Things like that. I'm the man. I'm the poison ivy man.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a wonderful project. There's a lot of projects out there to enhance our key assets, which I think are important not only for those of us who live here, but it's important to attract new businesses, new residents. You want to keep your assets high to make this a high-demand community. So, but do you want to?
Well, before we do your guest, let's go back to one more thing. I'm looking for guidance on whether after the next month this show should continue, because I don't see, I get first-hand information from you because you are the CEO. Well, the CEO now will be the town manager.
That's right.
But the town manager is an employee, and he's told what to do by the Board of Selectmen. And the individual who communicates that is the first selectman. So...
You could do both.
I bet they'd love that. Woo-hoo.
I think they would.
We could do them together.
You could do separate. You could do them together. You'll have to see how it
together
goes.
Would be fun, where they have disagreements and you could sniff that out. Ooh.
I think it's, there'll be the next board that chooses the town manager, but I think they'll pick someone who can work well with the board.
Oh, the next board will choose. Well, who's going to do the job between the election and as of December 1st, is it? January
so hopefully
1st?
We'll have a candidate that they can appoint at the first meeting in December. So we've done a lot of the prep work. That's been Chris Kelly and the Personnel Subcommittee have sort of spearheaded that process. And so we'll be involved in the first screening. And then there will be a second screening after the election, which we will expand the search committee to include those who have actually been elected. So they'll be able to interview the candidates and then be able to appoint in December, hopefully.
And then is it a vote in the majority, that's the person who gets it?
Yep.
Have we gone after the guy who used to be Mary's assistant, who's now town manager in Avon?
So I'm not going to talk about the process of his applying.
I can't. Oh, he'd be so good, and he has so much experience here.
Well, there are lots of
he knows the community
We're fortunate
well.
that
He's really a good guy.
we had lots of wonderful people apply, so I think we're going to find someone.
They probably pay him more money than we'd pay him anyhow.
But look, the most important thing is to find someone who's a good fit for the town and who's willing to, listen to our residents and values all the volunteers.
Well, why don't you introduce your guest, whose main job will be listening to the residents, especially us old ones who complain and why don't you do this for me and why don't you do that for me, and see how excited she is about that. This is the replacement for Mickey LaCour's back for, Lord, how many years?
37 years.
She never changed. She always looked the same. And in the summer, bombing around in her Corvette.
She does.
And this compassionate person, she just did great stuff.
She did. But we are so fortunate
to have
Kristen Formanek, who I think is just going to be as wonderful. She is a true gem, and we are so lucky to have her. So, Kristen, please join us.
You want to scoot in close? We're sharing a mic here today. Hello, Kristen.
Hello.
I had a chance to meet you a little earlier this month, but it's good to see you now. So, why don't you, in your words, say what you see the job as being, and given one that you did one similar to it, why you decided to make a change, and how thrilled you are to be here. And then if you would list, well, we won't have time for you to list all of the things that your department does, but start at the pile of the mountain and taking us through it. Go.
Well, okay. Well, I am just thrilled to be here, as you said. And it is a big job, and Mickey LaCour's left big shoes to fill. But I'm confident that I'm going to be able to follow in her footsteps.
She had big feet? She wasn't that tall. Next time I see her, I'm going to take a look. I'm going to tell her. Kristen said, you have big feet.
Well, truthfully, I mean, she is following in the footsteps of a great social worker. But
I
Kristen
see.
is totally up to the task. She was our number one choice. We had many qualified candidates, and Kristen quickly rose to the top.
Okay, and why?
Why? Because she really showed a level of compassion, knowledge about the job, enthusiasm, energy, and when we interviewed her, it just felt right. And we had a large group interviewing her because this position is very important to the town.
Okay, and you have previous experience. You want to share that with people a bit?
Sure. My most previous experience was with the town of East Windsor, and I was there for 3.5 years as their director of social services.
3.5 years? Okay, because we're sharing a mic, maybe pull that a little closer to you.
Sure.
You have a soft, empathetic voice.
So as I said, I was with the town of East Windsor for 3.5 years as their director of social services, and with that position I oversaw the Department of Human Services as well as the Senior Center, and had a lot of responsibilities with those two departments. At the Senior Center, working with the seniors to make sure that their needs were met, that they had the programs that they wanted, and helping with their social and their emotional needs, and also having fun with them. I enjoyed making sure that they saw me every time that I was there, and also I created programs where I was with the seniors at least 2 to 3 times a month, having my own program with them, which gave me the opportunity to just sit down, relax with them, and get to know them on a personal level.
Well, maybe you could explain, I think the way that seniors know the senior center is in different capacities. And I'd have to say that's true of myself. I know there's things like a food pantry. I know people bring food. I know they pick up food. I know they pick up bread. I know there are, I don't know if Dial-A-Ride is connected to it. I know there's somebody who helps guide them get on low-income subsidies. There are the lunches. So you have a staff?
Yes, well, currently in Simsbury, we do have a staff, and just all those things that you just listed are things that we're responsible for. And some of them are under the guise of the senior center, and some are under social services, but we all work together as one department.
Oh, so the senior center is separate from you? Oh, I thought the senior
Kristen
center...
supervises the senior center.
She's what?
She's in charge. She's the department head. So that includes both social services.
Oh,
and the
that's
senior
what I
center.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but from what I've seen in my
So
11
let me
days...
just back up a minute. So the people who do the senior center activities are your staff? You're their boss?
Correct.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. So there are, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those?
Well, in the senior center, we have Kathy Marshall, who's
Yeah.
the senior center coordinator, and we have Dana, who works at the front desk,
Yeah.
and then we have volunteers that help as well.
Yeah.
And in social,
And then in your immediate office,
right?
there are 2 people.
Correct. We have Charlotte, and we have Carolyn. That she works part time.
Oh, okay.
So we have.
And is that more on the, rather than the social activities, they help people get help?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
The main purpose of the social services is exactly like you said, it to help people find the help that they need. People come to us with a lot of different needs, such as housing assistance, energy assistance, help with food. A lot of times, needing help with their rent or mediating landlord-tenant concerns.
Oh, I made a lot of money last year. I need help with my taxes. We'll talk afterwards.
There's a program that does that in coordination with the library where we,
Oh, really?
we help people, assist people with taxes. And Kristen has a program going on right now
I
with
mean,
heating
like-
assistance.
So Kristen could pay my taxes?
No.
Oh, I thought you said help.
No.
And like Lisa said, right now we're just starting our energy assistance season. So folks are coming to us to do an application to receive help with their heating costs.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and the large program, it's called the Connecticut Energy Assistance Program, and that's through the state of Connecticut. The state of Connecticut administers federal dollars for energy assistance, and so we take the applications to help people with that, and then we pass them on to the state agency that's responsible.
You're busy.
We're very
I
busy.
mean, yeah, you got a lot of things going on. If people ever read the senior bulletin, I mean, it's amazing.
It is amazing.
How much stuff is in there, and quite varied.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to the senior luncheons. Initially, I did that because, among other things, I do Medicare, and I thought I could help them on the Medicare.gov site and sort through what might be right for them. I enjoyed it so much, and there's a lot of, well, for some reason our table's a little noisy, but there's a lot of stimulating conversation going on. I think people would really be surprised. And then there are people that have been going there for years, and this is their community. I mean, it may not be all of it, but it's certainly an important part of it. And then, how is that thing with the blood pressure and who does that? I know it's Rachel, but through what?
That's through the VNA, the Visiting Nurses Association.
okay.
And they bring someone in to check your blood pressure. And we do provide some help with them in their funding. And in turn, we are able to utilize their services.
Well, typically, I think it's very comforting to people, usually after lunch or maybe before, they'll go up and she has a card and fills it out each time. And, recently there have been a couple that, really stalwart kind of people got kind of a surprise. And then it was fortunate they got that clue, because then when they checked it out, there were, with a doctor, there were problems to be handled.
It's a great service. I mean, this, like you say, the senior center offers so many services, and it really is a place like home. You can go there and feel comfortable.
Yep. So what was so crummy about East Windsor that you wanted to get out of there?
Nothing was crummy about East Windsor. It was a great town, and I really enjoyed the time that I spent there. I loved all the time that I spent with my seniors and being able to provide assistance to our low-income individuals in town. And I do tell people I was not actively looking for a new position when this came up. One of my professional organizations shares job openings when they come up, and I saw it, and I said that would be a great community to work for. And I believe that when something comes naturally to me, that it's meant to be. And when I came for my interview and met Lisa and met the other folks that were on the panel, I knew I was in the right place.
And we did too. So it was a wonderful fit. We're very excited to have Kristen.
Okay, good. We'll see.
You are tough, Jer.
No, I'm not tough
You
at
know
all.
she's wonderful because you've
I have heard
met with
her,
her,
just,
yes.
and I've seen how easy she is with people, and so she'll fit in and just be like part of the family. I'm sure of that.
She already is,
Yeah.
from my perspective. So.
Yeah. So what do you think will be the biggest challenge? How long have you been in the position? It's short.
This is my 11th day.
Wow. Okay.
And the biggest challenge is just getting to know everyone and remembering everyone's name.
Oh, please. That's impossible.
That is
the number of
impossible.
people who go through there. No, that's why. Hey, you, fat one with the one
No,
leg.
No.
You can give them nicknames. Oh,
No nicknames.
My granddaughter's school teacher has assigned each of them a nickname. That's how he handles it. I think it's cool.
It can be cool depending
Hey,
on the
fatty.
nickname. No, that's not cool. That doesn't work.
I probably wouldn't be very well respected if I
No,
did that.
I suppose
so
not,
I think
yeah.
I'll choose not to.
Well, you know what we should do? We should do a show with you somewhere down the line after you've been seasoned a little bit, but you have to be as candid and honest as you have been today. And if you can say, oh, wow, some of these, whew. I just joined, I don't know how they do that, Intonations, which it's a chorus, and it's 2 hours right before the luncheon on Wednesday. Now, that's kind of hard then to take 3.5 hours out of a work week, but they've got great voices.
They do.
Yeah, they're really, really good. And the professor from University of Hartford is
Wonderful.
really good. I mean, do you sing?
Oh, only in the car. You wouldn't want me in that group.
Oh, I don't know. You could be a guest soloist on sometime. Kristen, a real pleasure to meet you.
Thank
I
you
wish
very
you the
much.
very best. Look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing you down there. And I know what a big job it is, so hold on, girl. Wish you the best. And Lisa, thank you very much.
My
And
pleasure.
our next one will be our last. And thank all of you, and we'll see you again next month on State of the Town.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.